By Mr. Shaw, seconded by Dr. Robinson. Any discussion? All in favor, all opposed, motion carries 7-0. Already did BRD 2, CI 4. Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I recommend the board approve the memorandum of understanding with Eckerd Connects to provide workforce training, employment, and economic development.
Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? Dr. Robinson.
Thank you. I sent some questions in on this. I think that this is a valuable effort, but just a couple clarifying questions. So I asked if returning citizens from adult incarceration are eligible, because in the summary it says specifically DJJ reentry, but I want to know about young people that got direct filed as an adult. As an adult, if they are returning, are they eligible, or is it only DJJ?
They are eligible simply because it does the DJJ process, and we're talking 18 to 24. They are eligible under this.
Okay, so I just need to be clear. So, I mean, you could be 14 and be direct filed and charged as an adult, right?
Correct.
So if you're charged as an adult and then you're coming out of incarceration, are you eligible? I just want to be crystal clear.
Yes.
Okay, because then you're not in DJJ then.
No.
That's my
No,
point.
but you're eligible. Yes.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
the WIOA grant is directed to the Opportunity Act, to provide training and opportunities without paying money in order to get them back on track with the career training.
Okay, so just because I didn't see that in the documents, would you just like double check
Absolutely.
that? Okay, and then the other thing is, I was going to pull this also just to say, to make it crystal clear, we are not delegating authority, so this contract has to come back so we can see their outcomes, and I would hope that we would outline some metrics, some expectations in terms of numbers and how many people complete the program, how many get job placed and all that, and so that it could come back to the board for us to evaluate if we want to continue.
So that's a great question, because as you know, it says in the notes that they've never done anything with us. So they actually are with Career Source, and Career Source manages them. If they are not successful and do not meet Career Source's matrix, which we can garnish as well, they will be invited back by Career Source. So this is an opportunity for them. They have a matrix from them, and we'll provide that for you as well. Because if they're not successful, we need to go with another service, obviously.
Okay, so I would hope that we would define success outside of however Career Source defines success, because in my neighborhood, Career Source is thought to be unsuccessful. Okay, I just want to be clear. If we're going to help, we need to make sure we set a bar for them and work towards it. I don't want to just, it's not my goal to cancel. I want to make it successful.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next item is COM 11.
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair. I recommend the board proclaim May 2019 as Mental Health Awareness and Trauma-Informed Care Month.
That's 12.
I'm sorry. 11, I'm sorry. My apologies.
We can do that.
Mr. Vice Chair, I recommend the board proclaim May 2019 as Haitian Heritage Month.
Motion by Dr. Robinson, second by Mrs. Andrews. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. COM 12.
Yes, sir. I recommend the board proclaim May 2019 as Mental Health Awareness and Trauma-Informed Care Month.
Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. COM 13.
COM 13, I recommend the board proclaim April 28th through May 5th as National Days of Remembrance.
Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, second by Mrs. Brill. Any discussion, Mrs. Brill?
Thank you, and I know it's late, but I think it's very important that I read this proclamation, especially in light of all the anti-Semitism in the world right now. So I am going to read this proclamation, and then I have a couple of acknowledgments to make. Okay, it's the Proclamation for National Days of Remembrance, April 28th to May 5th, 2019. Whereas the Holocaust was the state-sponsored, systematic persecution and annihilation of European Jewry by Nazi Germany and its collaborators between 1933 and 1945. 6 million Jews were murdered, Roma, Gypsies, people with disabilities, and Poles were also targeted for destruction or decimation for racial, ethnic, or national reasons. Millions more, including homosexuals, Jehovah's Witnesses, Soviet prisoners of war, and political dissidents, also suffered grievous oppression and death under Nazi tyranny. And whereas the history of the Holocaust offers an opportunity to reflect on the moral responsibilities of individuals, societies, and governments, and whereas the school district of Palm Beach County should always remember the terrible events of the Holocaust and remain vigilant against hatred, persecution, and tyranny. And whereas the school district of Palm Beach County should actively dedicate ourselves to the principles of individual freedom in a just society. And whereas the days of remembrance have been set aside by the school district of Palm Beach County to remember the victims of the Holocaust, as well as to reflect on the need for respect of all peoples. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the superintendent and school board of Palm Beach County do hereby proclaim the week of Sunday, April 28th, 2019 through Sunday, May 5th, 2019 as days of remembrance. And be it further resolved that in memory of the victims of the Holocaust and in honor of the survivors as well as the rescuers and liberators, that we should work to promote human dignity and confront hate whenever and wherever it occurs. Done this first day of May 2019 in West Palm Beach, Florida. And I just want to take a moment to recognize and thank Insight Through Education for their commitment to the Holocaust education program in Palm Beach County Schools, and also to thank Lauren Gross, director of the Gross Family Center for the Study of Anti-Semitism and the Holocaust, for her efforts to expand the ways in which our students and teachers receive Holocaust education. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. FMPF1, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, I recommend the board receive and accept the monthly contract and disbursement report as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Shaw, second by Mrs. Andrews. Discussion, Dr. Robinson, did you pull that?
I just pulled it the same as each month because we're not good enough yet, and we're just going to keep working on it with all deliberate speed, which will be faster than the deliberate speed after the board of Brown versus Board. How about that? Okay.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? 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 Motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Motion carries 6-1 with Dr. Robinson abstaining, or voting no. PC1, pre-qualified vendors.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I recommend the board approve the new and renewal pre-qualified vendors as indicated in the attachments to participate in solicitations for construction projects estimated in excess of $300,000.
We have a motion. Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, seconded by Mrs. Brill. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? And Dr. Robinson, you can't say a word. For a change. For a change. Motion carries 6-0 with Dr. Robinson abstaining.
That's it, brother.
I think, unless the board members have anything else, and if you do, I'm going to throw this bottle at you. The meeting is adjourned.